Holy smokes, we just got an absolutely insane leak that just might make you reconsider ordering the new iPhone 16 Pro Max that's about to get revealed at Apple's September 9th Glow Time event, especially if you only upgrade your phone every couple of years, which in that case, you'll be making a big mistake because I've been looking into a bunch of leaks, including this brand new one from Ming-Chi Kuo, and the puzzle pieces are finally starting to come together to give us enough evidence to confirm that next year's iPhone 17 Pro Max won't actually be a Pro Max at all. It'll be something completely different in an iPhone that we've never seen before. Yes, I'm talking about the iPhone Ultra. So let's jump right into this brand new leak and put all these puzzle pieces together because based on these leaks, I have a pretty good feeling that you're gonna wanna wait for next year's iPhone 17 Ultra model. Just the other day, Ming-Chi Kuo tweeted out some new leaks for the 2025 new iPhone lineup, mentioning that the iPhone 17 Pro Max is getting a few exclusive features, and if you really pay attention and put your thinking cap on, you'll understand why this is such a big deal. First of all, he said that the iPhone 17 Pro Max will be getting 12 gigabytes of RAM for the first time ever, while the rest of the lineup, including the new ultra-thin iPhone Air, will be getting 8 gigs of RAM, unchanged from what we have this year. On top of that, he said that the Pro Max will exclusively get enhanced on-device AI capabilities that the rest of the lineup will not be getting either. Are you paying attention? But the nail in the coffin is the last one. Apparently, for the first time ever, the iPhone 17 Pro Max will be getting an upgraded cooling system combining vapor chamber technology as well as graphite sheets, which is something I hoped Apple would implement for years since it really helped on some of the Android competition. And once again, that is exclusive to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, while the rest of the lineup will only be getting regular graphite sheets for thermal management. So what does this all mean? Well, before I explain, keep in mind that we've been getting a huge number of leaks surrounding the brand new, never before seen iPhone 17 Air model that should launch next year, which both John Prosser and Mark Gurman have agreed on in terms of the naming scheme, since it'll match Apple's naming of the iPad Air and the MacBook Air. But getting back to this new iPhone 17 Pro Max model, the reason that this new leak is so significant is because Apple's iPhone Pro and Pro Max models have always shared exactly the same level of performance with exactly the same amount of RAM, exactly the same level of AI performance, and exactly the same cooling system. This would mark the first time Apple is changing these aspects of the device specifically for the highest end model, and the biggest tell of all is that giving 12 gigs of RAM and extra AI performance to the 17 Pro Max would literally require a completely different chip. Yes, this is proof that the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max will not share the same chip, but the one in the Pro Max would essentially be a beefed up chip with higher performance, requiring a much heavier duty vapor chamber cooling system for the first time, which hints at Apple adding in more performance cores in that exclusive high-end chip. And how are they gonna do this? Well, I have a feeling that they're gonna do exactly what they're doing right now on their MacBook lineup. If you look at Apple's M3 chip, you can see that it has 2 memory chips soldered onto the package, while the M3 Pro chip has 3 memory chips. And same thing for the number of cores. The M3 Pro has more cores than the M3. So if Apple wants to give the iPhone 17 Pro Max more performance, AI capability, and RAM, the easiest way to do this is to do this same exact thing but for the A19 chip series with a new A19 Ultra chip that is now bigger and better than before, requiring that new cooling system. And if Apple ends up doing this, my take is that there's no way they can continue to call it the iPhone 17 Pro Max. They absolutely have to change the name to make it 100% clear that it's a whole different beast of a phone compared to the regular 17 Pro. And conveniently, Apparently, Mark Gurman has been talking about the new leaked iPhone Ultra model for years, which has kept getting delayed over and over again, with Apple opting to stick to the Pro Max naming for the last couple of years. But I think that the iPhone 17 Pro Max model will be the first one to now be named the iPhone 17 Ultra to match the crazy performance. But going even further, I honestly believe that next year's iPhones will be the first ever to completely get rid of the number-focused naming scheme, seeing as the number 17 just kind of sounds weird and doesn't really roll off the tongue well enough. So my prediction is that starting next year, we will see Apple's iPhones get completely rebranded to this new lineup: the iPhone Air, the iPhone Pro, and the iPhone Ultra. The perfect lineup to push Apple's iPhone marketing into the future, with a lineup that just makes sense, perfectly matching Apple's naming scheme for the iPad, with them literally having an iPad, an iPad Air, an iPad Pro, and, well, there's no iPad Ultra. At least not yet, because we actually had some leaks pointing to Apple working on a new iPad Ultra model, which would literally make it a perfect match for marketing. And Apple will literally just refer to each new model as the iPhone Ultra 1st Gen, 2nd Gen, and so on to keep things simple. And if you need further proof of Apple switching to this new naming scheme next year with this brand new iPhone Ultra model, it perfectly matches all of the leaks of the new iPhone Air model, which sounds a whole lot better with no number in the name. And even further, the iPhone Air is supposed to be a brand new, never before seen model with a brand new super thin design, as thin as Apple's M4 iPad Pro, which is crazy thin, about only 5mm, which is so thin it seems like it shouldn't even be possible. And it's supposed to only have a single camera on the new iPhone Air, which confirms that it will be a lower end model. But the leaks got a bit confusing when the information back in May claimed that the iPhone 17 Slim, which we now know is the iPhone Air, is apparently going to have a complete redesign, with the rear cameras moving to the top center in the biggest redesign ever since the iPhone X, seeing as the cameras have always been in the corner. And they even mentioned that the iPhone 17 lineup would include a new slim model that's supposed to be more expensive than the Pro Max with a major redesign, so that's obviously not talking about the iPhone Air model, which will actually be less expensive with a smaller display and only a single camera. So if you look at all these leaks separately, it's pretty clear that the entire iPhone 17 lineup will be getting a full redesign to make all of them a little bit slimmer, including the new iPhone Air, which is going to be the slimmest model, and the new high-end Ultra, all of which will have relocated camera bumps, making for a fresh lineup that will include the iPhone Air, the iPhone Pro, and the iPhone Ultra. Now, I myself will of course upgrade to the new iPhone 16 Pro Max, since that's my job and I have to have the latest phone for reviews and videos. But for people who only upgrade their phones every couple of years, or especially those who only upgrade every few years, you should probably skip the new iPhone 16 Pro Max and wait for the new redesigned and crazy powerful iPhone Ultra next year. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and click that circle above to subscribe for more videos like this one, and definitely check out one of those two right there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.